Today we are going to discuss about network interconnecting devices. Here we have different types of network topology and network architecture available. So to connect uh, same network or different network, definitely we need the device. It can be small or bigger, but to have establishment of network connectivity, definitely we need to have a kind of device which is called as your network interconnecting device. We had different devices available like hubs, repeaters, switch, router, and gateway. It is used based on your different type of network topology or the network design and based on the requirements also. We'll see about the advantage, disadvantage of these later slides. So it is a device used for connecting same network or multiple networks, and it is used for your uh, business purpose and connecting multiple people across the globe also, which is nothing but your internet. So these are the basic interconnecting devices what we are using in our organization. The first is the hub. So hub is basically a multi-port repeater, and it is a normal device we used in the early stages, like for connecting a small number of systems, 8 systems or 16 systems. We had different types of hubs available. It is used in the small offices, and it can go up to a certain distance, not stretch for long distances because of the limitations in the design. It operates on the physical layer of your OSI model, and it doesn't have that much of intelligence to filter and suppress the noises. It is just for connecting multiple systems. That's it. Basically, this falls under star topology, and this is how we can connect hub with multiple systems and resources also, like printer, scanner, any kind of networking devices. We had two different types of hub. One is active hub and other is a passive hub. Active hub, by name, it is saying that it is very active. It is helping for kind of amplifying the signals, so that if the incoming signal is weaker, it can amplify some to some extent and give a good signal to the destination from this particular device. Passive hub, it doesn't have any intelligence, just used as a connecting point. Nothing much to discuss on the passive hub. This active hub is also known as a multi-port repeater, where it is connecting multiple systems. Advantages: it is less expensive. Active hubs can extend maximum network media distance. Maximum it can go up to 100 meters distance, and it can support Cat5 cables also. No processing done at the hub. It means no intelligent device to process the data. It will amplify the data, but it will not process any other informations like source, destination. Those kind of processing will not be done over here. It doesn't have any kind of intelligence what we have in switch. That is a disadvantage. But anyway, though it has a disadvantage, we use this hub for small offices or kind of lab purpose. It was used in many places before we actively use the switches. So now we are not using hub anywhere in even residence to connect multiple systems. We go for switch, which is available in the market. Because of the disadvantages or less efficiencies, we are going for advanced devices, not with hub. Next one is the repeater. It is a device used for regenerating the signal over the same network. So by name says that if incoming signal is having a weak signal, it will amplify it, and it will help us to filter the signals and give a good signal. It is same like your booster available in the cable TV network. So this is how the repeater is connected to connect two different segments. So functions of a repeater: when the signal is having a corrupted signal, with the help of a small intelligence available, it will regenerate the signal and give a good signal to the destination, to the another network. Advantage: it is basically used for extending your network. because when we had different topologies, like it can cover only short distances. To extend it to multi-story building, or at least to a campus network, we need to have a kind of repeaters. So it was used for extending the network, and it was suppressing the noise also. So when the output comes, it will have good efficient data. Disadvantage: it has no filtering capacity, and it cannot connect to different architectures. So it is used for the same architecture only. Like Ethernet means only Ethernet. It cannot connect token ring and together. So number of repeaters must be limited. Since it is used for boosting the signal, we cannot keep on building the repeaters, and the countless repeaters is not allowed, and it will again bring us the low performance. The next one is a bridge. Bridge is a device used for connecting to different Ethernet networks, and it is working in the data link layer, the second layer. Early devices was in physical layer. Now this is in the data link layer of your OSI 7 layer model, and here it will be referring the MAC address for sending and receiving the information. So it will be stored. There is a table available where you'll call it as a bridge table. The information will be captured, and it will be stored in the table to identify the systems using MAC addresses. It sends the data frames only to the concerned destination, so it will have some conversion in the next layer. But in this particular data link layer, it will have in the form of frames. So this is how your bridge table available. So it will be learning the data whenever it receives the data from the particular system. The table is built, and it will be referred for sending and receiving the informations to the destination system. Somehow it is having intelligence like switch, but maybe this is the introduction stage where before the switch is built with the intelligence, it was tested in the bridge itself. The advantage: it minimizes the unwanted traffic and acts as a filter. It minimizes network congestions. It is helpful for reducing the errors, and it is helping for lowering the data load over the data link layer. Disadvantage: the speed is slower than the repeaters because it is going to perform some informations processing in the device, so it takes another fraction of seconds. So compared to repeaters, it is slower, but it will be more good for your network data, where it will not have that much errors or signal loss. So there's another disadvantage: not able to handle multiple paths. It has a limited one, and bridges are unable to read specific IP address because it is working only in the MAC address data link layer. So next comes switch. Here, this is the one we are using in the current industrial model, whether it is for organization or for residential purpose. Even you are going for a DSL modem or a small Wi-Fi device, Wi-Fi router, definitely it will have a couple of ports, minimum 4 ports to connect your uh, systems, Ethernet systems or printers. Nowadays everything goes with Wi-Fi, but still earlier stage we had Ethernet connectivity to the devices. So I can connect 4 devices from my home, multiple laptops or printers with a network. Okay, so it was having a combination of a router and a switch. So I mean to say, a switch is used for connecting multiple systems in an efficient way because of the intelligence what it has. So it processes the data at the data link layer and network layer of the OSI model. So we have two different types of switch. One works at only layer 2. Nowadays we are getting layer 3 devices, which is an intelligent switch. It can also work in layer 2. It's a combination of both layer 2 and layer 3 intelligence it is having. So it is easy to adapt the current trend, and we can go for using the switch and increase the network size. Okay, and if you are going for a bigger organization, probably you need to have a good networking knowledge to configure the switch and connect it to the network. If at all you are going to have unmanaged switch, and just to you have 100 or 200 systems available, and you can also go for an unmanaged switch model, so that no additional configurations required. Whatever intelligence available in the switch, that itself will suffice your networking requirement, like your Dell switch or D-Link switch. Okay, so that will be helpful for using as an unmanaged switch. Cisco will give you a good manageable switch. As a network administrator, you can configure it, and there are a lot of advantages using the manageable switches in a corporate environment. So these are the examples of switch what we have in the industry, and obviously this is going to follow your star topology. So functions of a switch, it is allowing more than one device to be connected. We have 8-port switch till we have 48-port switch available in the market. And if you go for data center based operations, you'll have splitters. That 48 port can be splitted as 96 ports using splitter, right? When it goes for destination systems, 48 port in switch will be consumed as 96 port in real-time environment. That is a different story about data center. It can operate in full duplex mode, and it performs MAC address recognition and frame forwarding in hardware. So it follows a learning process, right? Once you power up the device, power up the switch, it starts learning the MAC addresses available in the connectivity on all the ports. Based on the availability of the system, maybe a system is shut down for a particular time, and once you power it on, it will be adding the information in the MAC table or switch table, so that whenever any information is generated and it want to send it to the destination, based on the information available in layer 2, it can identify the destination MAC address, immediately the port number, and it can send that information directly to the system, not like your hub where it will be doing the broadcasting and then it sends the information. So in that way, with the help of intelligence services available in the switch, we can speed up the transmission of data into the destination. So once you remove the system, it will flush the table, and flush that only in that entry, and then it adds the new entry. It goes on, and suppose you are connecting another switch also, it will keep on collecting the information. And if suppose that particular destination not in the local MAC table, it will forward that information to the next switch through your trunk port, and the another switch will start searching the destination. So this is how you are reducing the time and speeding up the transport of data to the destination system. Advantage: only forwards the frame as needed, filter frames to avoid unnecessary load on segments. So it is helping to avoid the collisions, right? So it is more advanced device than your hub or other bridge devices. It is helping us to extend the logical network. So as I said, if you are going for unmanageable switch, you don't require a knowledgeable network person. So a normal layman can also expand your network. So that much simpler in expansion for limited set of systems, not for larger networks or corporate infrastructure. Separate segments allow longer distances, improves privacy by limiting the scope frames. So we can implement some kind of security features if at all you are going for a layer 3 switch. Disadvantage, it is difficult to reconfigure if any network error occurs in the multicast in case of a configurable switch, L3 switch. And obviously it is higher on cost compared to other devices. So those people who are all buying hubs, if at all you go and tell them to buy switch, comparatively it is higher on cost side, so they will think about it for buying the switch. The next device is a router is a layer 3 device, but it acts on all the three layers and takes care of the data what it receives. So as a physical layer device, it regenerates a signal, whatever it is receiving it, and the router checks the physical address like your switch and builds the table. But router will have a routing table based on the IP address available, and to the destination, it transfers the information to the destination network by using your routing table. The routes and other details will be available in the routing table. The port router can connect to different LANs, WANs, or LAN and WANs. Probably this is the most intelligent device available for using in the internet. So these are the picture about router. So router has a physical and logical IP address for each of its interface. Um, it has multiple interface like Ethernet interface and other modem and different types of interface available, and it will be referred by using the IP address for each interface. Router acts only on those packets in which the physical destination address matches and the address of the interface at which packet arrives. So it has intelligent algorithm available, so it avoids the collision domain as well as your broadcast domain. Router changes the physical address of the packet when it forwards the packet, so it will have that conversion mechanism when it transfers the data to the destination network. Advantage: it is easily shared internet. Security and adaptability: we can implement a lot of security restrictions using the router. We can block the network, we can allow the network, we can block the ports and establish the network connectivity to the destination device using some ports like HTTP port or HTTPS port or FTP port using the access list. Okay, so that will be helpful for restricting the connection. Instead of opening up the entire port for the external world, I can restrict my private network from the public network. So for that, we'll be using access list to block the traffic, as well as NAT. We'll be configuring in the router so that we are mapping your private IPs into public IPs based on the configuration requirement. Disadvantage: it is more expensive than other devices available, and other side, we need to have more technical persons having more knowledge so that he can configure the router accordingly, whatever based on the requirement. Next one is the gateway, so which is connecting different types of networks together. Probably this is a good example of your internet, where we are connecting multiple networks, multiple architectures also. Ultimately, the end system is getting the internet, right? So it doesn't worry, it doesn't take care of other things available in the backbone. So it will just go and browse the system for the end users. So gateway is used for connecting multiple network architecture together across the globe. So this is how your gateway functions. It is working in all the layers available in OSI model. Advantage: direct linking between the internal and external hosts are denied because of internet purpose and security related reasons. In network gateway, the user level authentication or protection is supported. So we can configure the authentication and ensure our device is more secured to protect it from the open internet. Can connect or links to variant networks. Yep. To the protocol conversation is done and it handles the traffic problems. Takes care of traffic available in the network. It is not an intellectual equipment. It is being manufactured by multiple vendors, and we can use different types of devices based on the service provider availability. Protocol conversion is done. It is more expensive and a little hard to handle. You need to have some specialization to work with the gateways. So this comes to an end for network interconnecting devices. So we have seen multiple devices. In most of our cases, we use switches and routers in the corporate environment. Gateway, most of the time we are using in the residential side for connecting the internet services. So further, we are going to have discussion on the network architecture and detailed information on routers. Please subscribe this video so that any new video comes, you will be able to get that alert notified and you can get benefited. Thank you very much.